think one thing that the four of you have in common is that each of you have perhaps been in situations that are often described as maybe stuffy roles, or you're in the public eye and that sort of thing, and yet all of you have a tremendous sense of humour. It's a great leveller in society.
Oh yes, especially if you could laugh at yourself. And,
well, do you think Brendan has improved in his imitation of you, Dad?
No, I don't think so, because he would have to do a little more study. And of course he doesn't get into the studio too often to do that. I mean, he'd have to be around, say, if he comes up at the next election, when we're fighting our campaigns, then he would have more practice, and perhaps could get the Ballymena broke.
I've been watching you very, very carefully here, Doctor. And I've just, I don't know whether there's any truth about the story about the nun who went up to visit her friends up in North Antrim. Now, you probably remember this. She was going up to visit her friends in North Antrim, and she was coming through Belfast, and being a nun, she ran out of petrol, and being a nun, she was very shy. So she parked the car, and she walked down to a little garage. So she went in and she asked for some
yes,
petrol.
I heard this.
Yes. You were obviously at the show, I didn't realise that. And she came in for some petrol, and they said in the garage, look, we can give you petrol to take away, but we don't have a can. So all they could find in an old antique shop was a chamber pot. Indeed.
What we would call a poo.
A poo, indeed. A poo.
Don't be polite.
Poo, or a potty. A potty. Yes. And she brought the little potty and she was pouring it into the car when the Reverend Ian Paisley came around the corner. And when he saw her pouring the potty half full of this petrol, she was just emptying it into the car, and the Reverend looked out and he says, Sister, he says, we may be of different persuasions, but I must state that I have tremendous admiration in your faith. Do you remember that?
I heard another one on the same line. I was going into a little place that you will know very well, Kirkcudbright, and there was a priest, and he was stopped, and he was standing over a hare that he had killed in his car. He had stopped and the hare was dead, and he was taking some water out of a bottle and he was sprinkling on the hare, but there was no response. So I'm supposed to have come along, and I got out and I said, just stand back. And I took a bottle from my pocket and I sprinkled it on the little hare, and the hare ran off. And he said, what was that? I said, hair restorer.